Welcome, people. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Get yourselves in. Get yourselves in, people. All right. So we've got a lot to look at today. Let's see. Let's see what the market has to offer. So I'm going to go through the NFP plays that I'm looking for primarily because I think that, again, we're going to have a crazy Friday. The next 2 days are going to be crazy, but we're going to have a crazy Friday for sure. All right. So get yourselves in. I'm going to start in about a minute. Okay. Get yourselves in. All right. Let's go. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to have a look at what we've had today. I think let me switch over to my other broker. Let's have a look at that chart instead. I think that will help a lot. All right. So pound USD has done the short that we want. I'm expecting the return, guys, to come back either today or by tomorrow, but I'm expecting to see a major move for a short. Okay, we've had everything that we need in terms of the structure of the price. Now, to recap over this, pound USD, we've had a break beneath this area for the first time in a week, and we've had a return. I'm expecting a short, guys, and you should be looking out for that very much so too. All right, same with silver. Silver has had a break beneath here and a return back to the other side. I'm expecting a massive short. So this is not financial advice, but if for me personally, what I will be doing when silver shorts the way I believe it is, as the dollar becomes mightily strong, I'm expecting to see prices of about $16, $16.50 for an ounce of silver. Definitely will be investing in some silver coins. Not silver bars, but definitely silver coins. I know there is a premium on silver coins, but it's worth it to me because at least I won't get capital gains tax. So you can't tax money. All right, but I'm having a look here. I just want to go through just what I'm looking for in terms of the plays. And what I'm going to do, let me pull up the dollar index first of all. All right, let's have a look at what's going on. So the dollar index right now is at a mighty 94 and almost crossed over into the $94.50. But right now we're about 94,200. Now, again, price has taken off very dramatically, and the bull trap that was made on the H4, the price has come back to it. Okay. Now, I am going to go through the ADPs in just a moment, but I want to go through this aspect first as to what exactly is going on. First things first, when we look at the price action here, what I am really looking for is a close above here. Any close above this area right here and a return further forward will be, to me, a very bullish sign for dollar denominated currency pairs. So USD, Japanese yen, and etc. should be going long. Now, we had a reversal, halfway through the week or towards the latter end of last week with a bull trap here. And then the price made its way short. Now, coming into the new week, what did we have? Now, I'm going to use the same H4 again for a moment just to go into more recent price action. And then we'll take a zoom out. All right. Now, this very strong injection of liquidity here, I told you guys that the price would come back beneath the low of the day, which we had, or the low of that day, and trigger another long, which we've had. So there are two options here. I'm still not in a sense, from the H4 perspective, the price has dipped back into demand liquidity, or in this case, a supply zone that's become demand. But I would have liked to see the price drop into this demand zone, which we haven't had. Okay. Now, the ADP results, okay, have given us a clear indication as to most likely what the NFP results are going to be. So for me, I'm going to be watching very closely what the price does even tonight, even to tomorrow. I think Thursday is going to be a very interesting day for entries. Okay. And I'm hoping that the entries come on Thursday so that we can swing them into Friday and have a really good time. So the dollar index, I always say to you guys that the only real zone, now I'm going to zoom out to the daily as I promised here. This daily supply zone, let's just recap over everything so that we understand where we are. So during 2020 November, the price returned back to this area of supply, but didn't return in the order block. So that means the supply that we had for the rest of the market until the price returned last week was inefficient supply, okay, which is a good bullish sign because when the price returns here, it will most likely break above and do a crazy move long. Now we've had a return in here. We had a bull trap on the H4, and then the price trapped bullish liquidity back down to 93.5. And now we're back at the same point again. All right. So as soon as the price, I mean, it only takes a daily candle and there's 2 days left of this week. So for example, if today surprisingly closes, now I don't think there's that much liquidity in the market left. I mean, the US session does end at 9 o'clock my time. But if the body of the candle was to close above this area of demand here, I'll be looking for a very strong long that would last at least for the first intermediate target to 90, I would say 90, just above 96. So about 96.123. And this is the area I'm looking at simply because we had the last major flip and break of the price from here. Demand became supply zone nested inside, and then a strong drop. So I would expect the first place the price to get to would be here before there's any breathing space for another short. Now, if this happens, which I do believe is going to happen by Friday, we're going to see some crazy price action on USD CHF, Euro USD, Pound USD, which is my favorite for the week right now, and also silver and gold, which all should be going short based on the strengthening of the dollar. So what we're waiting for really is the price to close outside of this area. And if it happens today, guys, that would be a very strong bullish signature. And I would strongly advise you watch out for it. If it's not today, I'm hoping that tomorrow we get this close above the body of this zone right here. Once we get that, then we should be looking for a return right here and moving forward for a long. So this is what really I am keeping my eyes on, and I say that you should do the same because we will be definitely finding ourselves in some very interesting conditions. So moving forward from here, what are we doing next? Well, based on this price action here, let's have a look at some of the pairs and what's going on. Let me just put this here. And I also want to do this too. I definitely want to show you guys the ADP, but you know what? Let's go for the ADP first, and then I'll come back to the charts. All right. So I'm going to bring up the economic calendar here. All right. I'll use FX Street, which for me personally, maybe it's just what I'm used to, is easiest to read. I think Daily FX is a bit too animated for me, but it's still got good information on there. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it's easier for me personally to use Daily FX. So I like to, you know. So let's pull this up. All right. And let's get some results in here. So let's go for this week. Switch over. Show you guys this. So switching over now, let's have a look at the news for the week here. Scroll down over to Wednesday. So here we go, guys. So the ADP results, and this is very key. Now, why am I using the ADP results? Well, the ADP employment rate, the American Payroll Department, basically, this company has about 60 to 70% of all the payrolls going through their systems to the American people. About 60 to 70%. Now, according to sociology, that is a very large and very accurate sample size of approximately what will happen with the rest of the percentage. Now, because of that, okay, the ADP is one of the best ways, aside from technical analysis, which what you can, I wouldn't say outright say that is going to happen, but you can use as a pointer, if you want to put it that way, to most likely what the NFP news will be. Now, with the ADP news, this is the most powerful one we've had for September, guys. Not only was the result better than the previous, it's better than expected by over 100,000 new added employment. Now, this is a very strong bullish sign for the dollar, number one. And this is a very strong positive result, which means that the NFPs, the remaining percentage left for the NFPs, will most likely be positive also. Now, the expected number is going to be better than expected, but I know for a fact that this September result is going to cause the price to completely go crazy. I do expect the NFP results to be even larger than expected too. And this is going to cause a crazy bullish movement on the US dollar. So I'm getting myself prepared. Friday is definitely going to be Money Friday because the price is going to go absolutely crazy. So where are we at right now? Well, I'm going back to Hugo's way for a moment using that broker. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick out a pair that I'm looking at. All right. Now, I would say that with USD CAD, guys, I do believe the price will go long and then short. But with USD CAD, because there's high impact news at the same time of 1:30 GMT for employment and unemployment rates, it will cause the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar to have absolutely crazy movement. For me, when I'm trading, as much as you could actually do some technical analysis to find out where most likely the price will go, which is seemingly looking like a long than a short, I still wouldn't trade USD CAD, okay, personally, all right? Now, oil is on an absolute tear, okay? And I'm going to show you the price of oil right now. UK oil right now is at $80. US oil is at $77. The price has literally been going on an absolute tear since this last pullback here that we had in August. We've gone from $61 to $77 a barrel, and I do expect that to continue. Now, on the monthly time frame here, we're in the new month, so we couldn't quantify this yet until we get into November, but I am expecting to see the price fill out this void of liquidity. We had a sharp drop in 2014 into 15 on the price of oil. And from the looks of the market price right here, I do really expect the price to get back to these points right here at $100, all the way back up here. It's just a matter of time before it happens. But we can see the price has really gone for a major movement here. Now, an interesting thing here is this supply zone created here to the left, which was, instrumental in the massive short we saw where oil went, not on this chart, but on some charts to minus $38. We've had a break above, and we've had in these last months here, so the month of August, a spike back into the other side into demand and a launching pad for a long. So from 62 at 77, and I only expect this to continue. And so if we want to work out exactly what's going to happen with USD CAD, this is going to be a very interesting one as to what could happen, because the US dollar is also on a tear to become stronger, but the fundamentals, or I would say the other additional factors when it comes to the Canadian dollar and oil, the oil price is seeing this rise, and because energy prices are soaring the way they are, Canada is definitely going to get some up leg in terms of its strength of its currency increasing, simply because the oil prices are increasing, which means that their exports value increases and they make more money, their GDP increases. Now, factoring that in compared to what we have with the US dollar, I think that this overriding factor of oil prices would probably override what we have with the US and the potential tapering happening soon and etc. But I think in this scenario, this is why I say a long and a short, that possibly the NFP news might trigger a long just temporarily, and then the major fundamental direction and technical direction of short on USD CAD will take place afterwards. Okay, this is what I do believe is most likely going to happen. Okay, so I would say with USD CAD to watch out for it, but nonetheless, let's have a look at USD CAD and let's see what the price is doing. All right, let's get USD CAD out here. Now, USD CAD is always a tough one because it's called the loonie for a reason. Now, if we go back to the monthly time frame here, I've always told you guys that when it comes to the monthly structure of price, we're definitely bearish. I mean, from the last major swing here from A to B down here until 2007, sorry, we've had an A to B swing, but these points right here for the short, we had one spike here 2015. We had another in 2020, but these two spikes here didn't really return into a palpable order block. I mean, the supply order blocks start all the way back up to from this region right here. And they continue all the way down to even across these areas here. And we haven't had a return to proper supply. So there is a chance the price may get there. I mean, I am seeing also the demand flip zone that the price is using here. And it looks like the price may be using that as the way that it's moving short. And when you put the price here, it makes a lot of sense. But we're going to have to see now the price returning here for a short, okay? Even though we've had quite a strong reaction in the last couple of months, this comes from the price coming for this low here and filling out this wick from quite far back. But if there's going to be any real demand in the market, I would expect the demand to start from this supply flip zone here. Now, this was a price cap holding the price from 2009 all the way until 2015 when we had this strong bullish month here, which was the month of January. Okay, and I do expect the price to fill out this void of liquidity and pull back at least down to here. So from what I'm looking at, we still have about another over 1,000 pips to go short, which will happen over the next several months. You know, if the Canadian dollar continues to gain strength based on, you know, the exports. Now, right now, their trade balance, Canada's trade balance is actually in a surplus. I think they're in a surplus of about 500 million Canadian dollars, I believe, or dollars. Either way, they're in a surplus. Okay, not a large one, but most countries in the Western world are not in a surplus. Most countries in the Western world operate from a debt system. Okay, most countries have a trade deficit, but Canada actually has a trade surplus, which is amazing to have, especially during a situation like we have with the pandemic, where there's supply bottlenecks everywhere. Things are more difficult to get in and ship out because of closures and etc. But Canada as a country has done quite fantastically well. And I believe that will help the currency to have some increased strength as time goes on. So now that the price has come for this low here and left a pool of liquidity here, I do think the price is on its way down for a tear down to get that liquidity. So watching the price here, again, I always talk about this supply zone. If I go to the weekly here, on the weekly time frame right here, this weekly supply zone created just before the end of 2020 has been the anchor for the price for the entire year so far. For these last 10 months, the price has returned here several times on different occasions, okay? Either away from or back to for supply or for demand for the price to sell or to buy from. So we've had a couple of returns more recently, and the last major one was from where we are 3 weeks ago, so the beginning of September. Now, what happened here? The price returned into this area, and on the H4 here, I mean, if I look at the order flow right now, the order flow is towards the bearish side, and the price looks like it's going to continue in that manner. This is why I'm looking for a bearish play. However, I still think that there is one bullish run left to go, just to come above maybe the high of the previous week here and take out the high of the previous week before moving short again. So for me, when I look at USD CAD, I'm definitely towards the bearish side of the market. And when I go down to the H1 here, my expectation is, now we've had a little bit of a signature here of reversal. And if the market structure is broken, then we could see a long happening here. So I'm watching the price action from here. I think a break of the market structure from here would really give us some very interesting plays here. Now, the market structure actually was broken today. So if there was a return back into, you know, demand, you know, even the price coming beneath the low of today, tomorrow, something like here into this H1 demand zone, then this would be a great buy opportunity. And I believe if the price did this signature clearly, and I have to be clear about this, before the news and started to take off, then that would be, for me, something that I'll be looking to take and swing it all the way up to the upside. Now, for the price to get back down here, it would require about just under 60 pips, which is not so bad. All right. And my target simply, I do even believe the price will come for this high right here too and get back into. Now, the reason why is because I do believe the price would want to go back into an area of liquidity palpable enough or strong enough to give us a very strong short signature in the weeks ahead. So I'm actually looking for a gigantic movement from here to here, which is about 235 pips. So if I see this tomorrow, guys, I'll be looking to take an entry already. And in terms of the stop loss will be beneath the low, 17 pips. Target is 237. So we're looking at above 1 to 15 risk to reward on this already. So I would say keep your eyes peeled firmly on what we have going on here, because I believe that this is going to be a whopper of a trade. Okay. So this is just my view. I will give one more. Let's look at Euro USD, see what's going on here. Now, I think with Euro USD, because the euro is so bearish, it's quite easy to detect to where the price is going. But I just want to kind of give you guys a clue as to what I'm thinking. And to do that, I need to use the monthly time frame. Well, again, guys, it's finally happened. I told you the price would continue pushing short, and I believe we're about to have an amazing short on the euro versus the US dollar. Now, I've been a bit quiet on the euro versus the US dollar because I've been more of a spectator and observer rather than an active participant. Now, what we have here on the monthly here, this demand zone, hear me carefully, has been in place since October I was going to say October the 2020, but October the 1st, 2020. We've had a break beneath here. So in the month of September, we've had a close beneath this order block, which means that the price has entered into supply quite strongly. Now, for me, looking at the price action here, there is two options, and this is why we need to be still careful, even though I know the dollar is going to gain strength. Now, the price could continue going short, which is one option. The other option, which is what I'm expecting, is for there to be some sort of return. And I'm hoping that this return happens before Friday. When I look at Euro USD, I want to see a return back to the other side as a confirmation of this demand zone being used as supply. And then from this monthly order block, I'm expecting to see a strong short with targets even down to 1.1 again, even, but I would be more conservative to say around about this region, 1.1392, just beneath 1.14. This is my expectation for Euro USD. Now I'm going to open up another chart, leave the monthly markings where they are, and continue to look at things and see what we get here. So if I go over to Euro USD, Euro USD is already dropping quite far into profit, and it's already getting towards targets that I've been looking at for quite a while further back. Now, because a lot has passed, it's hard to tell what I'm talking about, but across here, we apologies, guys. I think the signal broke up. Apologies for that. And reconnect and continue. So moving forward with what I said, I see that there is potential here for the price to even drop further down to 1.1. All right. Now, at the speed at which the price is breaking, I don't know if the price will actually do this pullback, but we're just going to look at the structure on the H4 first and see what's going on. So on the H4 here, we have clear. Now, the euro versus the US dollar is very strongly bearish. And so any opportunity for the price to continue going short would be seen. Now, if I go to the H1 here, what have we had today? So what has transpired so far? Well, to explain this, we're going to have to look a little bit further back again to the daily and have a look at what's actually gone on and seeing what the price has done. So we've had a continuation from this low, which is the low from November. And this is specifically the low that we saw from the election period of time. Now, it looks as though the price has given us just a very strong short. All right. Any of the traders who were traded a double bottom formation have been stopped out, which is what the market wants to do. But I still see the need for the price to pull long, and it would really depend on tomorrow. At the moment, we've had such a strong bearish tear short, that the price probably won't come back long. Now I'm going to steal this area here and use it for the monthly. I want to see the return here. Now, if for any reason the price was to return here, maybe say tomorrow, all right, let me draw this out. So if I draw this zone here, the body, here we go. Notice that the highest point of the month hasn't returned in here yet. All we need is just a pullback and then after a major short, all right? So if I go back down to the H1 and show you where we are. So ideally, I still believe that the price has room, all right, from where it is. It depends on how it happens, but even just a reversal signatures from here, price dipping beneath the low and then taking off tomorrow and coming back anywhere in this region would be fantastic. Now, we've had several redistributions of liquidity on the way down, all right, many ranges. We've had this range right here. We had one. Now, notice what happens. We had a redistribution of liquidity, short, redistribution, the massive short not too far. We had another one here, redistribution, and then the price gave us an amazing short. Now, we've had so many of these on Euro USD that, you know what, it wouldn't be wrong for the price to pull back and actually cover some ground here. Now, it may not, but there is the chance that the price may do that, and it will depend on how today closes. So as for today, the price has already done quite a number of pips. I think today has done about 80, 70. Okay, 70 pips today. Not bad. But if the price was able to just get back into this region right here and get into an area of supply and possibly take this double top formation here, this will be the best thing ever. Because remember, guys, many traders who trade the double bottom pattern were looking for a long and were holding, expecting the price to reverse. However, the price came back here to validate them one more time, shot up, and then crashed down during the night as well. So notice the timing. These double bottoms happened at the end of the previous day and at the beginning of the first. So for me, this would be US end of US session, beginning of Asian traders. Now, when did the price come and do what it did? The price spiked here in the session when these guys at Asia will be sleeping. So for them, they'll be safe. And then when the price crashes down, the people in the US session, during the Asian session, I don't know how if you guys will be awake or almost sleeping, price crashes right past your entry and continues going. So we've had the manipulation of long and short orders here. And I would like to see the price come back and just to tick everybody off. Everybody that thought the price was going long, for it to just do that long whilst nobody's looking and then come back short one more time. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm expecting this tomorrow and I'm hoping the price does this. Now, there's a very sweet 30-minute zone that I'm looking at as a potential area where the price might stop into before going short. And it's just above this high here. So I'm hoping that tomorrow we get this movement here. And then from here by Friday, we're already in this direction and we're just going to ride this wave short. I believe it's going to be a fantastic end to the week, depending on what we get, you know, between now and tomorrow. I really am hoping for this movement here. Okay. Now, coming back to the news, just to end off what we have here, what could we possibly get that might trigger such a reaction? Well, Thursday for me anyway, I mean, Japanese yen news hardly has any effect on the market. It's quite a stable currency. Now, coming into the afternoon on Thursday, we just have quite a few speeches. We have medium impact news for the entire day. There is a high impact speech at 5 o'clock from the Bank of Canada's governor, but throughout the day, 1:30, we have a speech from Federal Reserve's Williams. We have some Euro speeches too. So we have Euro and US dollar news here. So between this period here at 1:30 GMT towards 2 o'clock and then into 3 o'clock, we may see some activity. Maybe hopefully in the morning might get kicked off in the morning and then continue into the afternoon. But I would like to see what we get tomorrow. So I'm very excited. Tomorrow is a really important day, guys. So wherever you are in the world, be prepared for the London and US sessions at whatever time that is. Okay. And I'm expecting to see some great movements before we get into Friday. Now, I really don't want it to be one of those Fridays where the price just enters a couple of minutes before the news, because that's always an uncomfortable situation because the price can do so many things. It could spike 100 pips against you, then spike back. So many things can happen. And I'm sure if you've been trading for long enough, you've experienced the bad side of the news, which you probably don't want to do. Okay. But I'm saying keep your eyes peeled and we'll come back very soon and see what the price does. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and I'll catch you very soon, guys. Take care.